Hello, everyone, and welcome to the preview here on Blood Bowl Live, our usual show for the East Anglian Tournament Series, where we look at all of the rosters in preparation for one of the tournaments in this brand new series. And today it is the turn of Carrot Crunch's two-day event happening here in Kesgrave. We have joining me to go through all of these rosters and all of the juicy details. We have Carrot Crunch TO, Mr. Dave Rue. Dave, thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you, Chris, for inviting me.
And we have TO of Nest Point and the current eternal turnover, Mr. Andy Philpott. Andy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel like Christmas Eve, just as excited. In fact, more excited. I won't sleep very well on Friday, I suspect.
I always get so hyped for these reveals as well because they're so entertaining. Yeah, I'm very excited to go through all of these rosters. We will get to the rosters nice and quickly, but we've got various bits of stats and information to give you first. First, I'm going to pass straight over to Andy, who has gone through and looked at all of the races and looked at the rule pack and established who looks good and who doesn't look good. I was quite happy to see my team here under challenging. Andy, talk us through this breakdown. It's very in depth.
Yeah, so it's not meant to be perfect, and it's meant to obviously provoke some discussion. But I think the main thing to kind of take out is there's a lot of teams that you can actually play reasonably well. I think there's only 4 teams. Which you can see I've lovingly called I need to justify buying these models to my partner. So you're probably only playing these if you have them somewhere in a box and you haven't played them yet. You've spent 30 quid on them and you need to play them. I'll be very surprised if we see many, if any, of these rosters. If you want to play elves, the other elf team's just better than Elven Union. Khorne are just really tough to play unless you really want to play them. I think you're probably not going to take them. I learned that last year when I had to play Khorne with just 2 block. Flings again, really tough, and dwarves just not the same team as they were. They're really tough to play. You can play them fouling, but I think yeah, there are other teams to play. I think there's a load of good teams to play, to be honest. Maybe I've been a bit overzealous with my placement of 2 stunty teams in the contenders, but maybe I suppose if you're thinking from Stunty Cup perspective, the winner of the Stunty Cup is probably going to be either Snotlings or Gnomes. I think they get quite favourable rule sets, but I think the big winners from this rule set are the Greenskins themselves. I think the Orcs, they've got quite a nice a set of money to buy. They get 7 skills, 5 of which are elite. But given the fact of a lot of the skills they'd want to take are in their primary zone, they don't need to spend too many skill points to get the things that they want. They can stack. So there's some nice stuff there. Nurgle are just really good. Skaven are just really good. Wood Elves are just really good. And then you've got the Old World Alliance, which I think some people have cooled on recently. It feels like we've cooled on them, yeah, they're still a nice team, right? And then the brand new shiny thing in the box, which is the High Elves. I think we'll see a lot of those top teams. So I don't know if there was anything that stood out to you from my picks, gentlemen, but yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
I was sad to see.
Sorry, Chris.
I was sad to see Lizards looking so good, being the tournament that I'm not taking them. But good with flaws feels like how I try to live my life. Dave, what about you?
Well, I'm pleased that we seem to have quite a long list of contenders up there and good with flaws. So it seems like the rule set is sort of balanced, but obviously with 2025 rule sets out, I think that we're still sort of finding our way with them. I'd love to see Amazons be a little bit tiered lower, a little bit lower, because nobody ever seems to take them anymore. But I'm pleased with that. That looks good. I mean, I've seen, obviously, with the rosters coming in, I know what's being taken. So I don't think Andy's that far from the mark. I'm trying to find where my team is. Oh, okay, good with flaws. So I'm like you, Chris, but just got 20 years on you.
I think that's something that we picked up when we reviewed Nest Point. Obviously, it's the only other 2-day event on the calendar that there was no elves in sight, and I'm quite excited to see some elves return. To be honest, so hopefully we've got a good helping of those rosters.
Well, let's look at what teams are the kind of race breakdown. Dave, an awful lot of goblins. I know that orcs are there kind of second with a lot of orc teams, but my God, there are a lot of goblins turning up on Saturday.
Yeah, where did I go wrong? Somebody tell me. I feel like I left some rotten meat out and they all got in the house or something. But I mean, orcs are fairly high up. And I think when you look back at some of the stats of the games they've played in NAF tournaments about twice as many games as the next race. So they do seem fairly popular at the moment. And in the hands of a good coach, they're going to be quite impressive. I think with Tier 1, we try to restrict people from taking star players. And obviously at the Ipswich Classic, there wasn't any stars that got quite high up in that event. So, but Chaos Chosen is quite interesting as well. I don't know if that's leaning into the fact that you get a second day skill for which could be a secondary for a lineman, if we're going to see quite low mutations with the Chaos Chosen. But then obviously we've then got the gnome and the high elf. So yeah, 2 Wood Elves teams as well. So it does seem like we're getting a little bit of the agility teams coming back. So it's an interesting list. I can't see Amazon on there.
Yeah, Amazon at the bottom, no Amazons
again. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. No Amazons and no Bretonians being relatively like having come back. No one picking them up. No lizards. I feel like is normally quite rare, so that's quite interesting that there's no teams at all. So it's an interesting
Chris,
breakdown.
Do you remember when we were down in, and this is a really interesting thing, when we went to Kent team tournament and I was speaking to yourself, you being a Lizardman coach, and I said build a roster with this setup, and you were like, ugh, I can't, kind of thing. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. And I think at the time, the rule set was stricter on elite skills, which really hindered the lizards because you want the block as much as you do. And I think it wasn't it was that because you paid for the block, you then couldn't have others, and you ended up quite limited. It wasn't as bad then when you tweaked that slightly, but it was still. I don't think that's why I haven't taken them though. I think a different reason I haven't. But yeah, it was a thinker for lizards. It wasn't one that we saw an obvious really good set for.
Yeah, and also with the FAQ for the Games Workshop saying you can only have 4 elite skills of the same flavour, then lizards you're not going to be able to just block, because I think we've both played a roster where we just put block on all of the Sauruses.
Yeah,
and your day's half all right, isn't it? Really, you know half the battle's won. So. Is this going to be a trend that we're going to see? Are we going to have to see them being re-tiered because of the FAQ? Similar to the way that I'd love to see Amazons being re-tiered just to get people out playing them again.
I'd love to see lizards re-tiered. Oh, that'd be great. Give me a so that I could put one on the Crocs and one on the Chameleon. Come on.
I think that is something we'll just need to look at generally around tournaments. Maybe it's just an area thing. It might just be a case of people didn't fancy Zons for this one. I still think there's a good amount of fear around the block tackle human blitzer on both the human and the Old World Alliance teams, and then it's the same on the undead teams. Dwarves obviously have something that's fairly similar in the fact they've got their block tackle, diving tackle blitzers. But in terms of the rest of the teams, it's kind of as you were with Zons. So I wonder whether it's a case of people just need to be a bit brave and just kind of go back to trying them again, because against every other team, there's still a blodge nightmare. So it's just maybe kind of ducking and weaving those horrible matchups, and you'll probably be fine.
Well, I think also as well in the 2025 rule set, it felt like they got nothing. They weren't new and shiny, where a lot of other races felt, oh, with the Skaven, okay, we lost the 2 gut runners, but the Blitzer looks fantastic now, and that might make you think, oh, I'll move over to Skaven because I want to give them a try. So it might just be a case of that they're going to slowly come back into favour again, and people seeing the amount of tackle that's been given out naturally, it kind of, we always thought that Dwarf was the worst setup against Amazon, and you try to avoid them, and now the tackle's been spread out a little bit more. But hopefully with time, people will look to bring. Maybe I'll take them to the Battle of the Bastion, just to sort of try and revive a bit of interest in them. It probably won't happen, but yeah, it'd be nice to get them out again, get them out of the box.
I think my main surprise from all of these, actually, it's been briefly mentioned, but having 5 Chaos Chosen, that surprises me. I think they're a really solid team. I looked at Chaos Chosen myself to see whether that was going to be a team I would take. The thing I just find with Chaos is they're quite steady and secure, but they're not spectacular. Like you're not going to be removing people a lot. You'll score on your offense probably, unless you lose a warrior. But they don't do anything like really, really brilliant. I'd probably still rather play Nurgle if I wanted to play, strength 4 warriors, across the board. I think they're just a bit more exciting. I feel disgusting saying that about Nurgle, that they're exciting, but
I'm hoping that at least one of those 5 Chaos Chosen teams have gone all pile driver armbar, but I think I'll probably be disappointed with that. But let's dive in, because we've got a lot of rosters. Just in the chat quickly, Mark is very happy that there's not going to be any Nurgle versus Nurgle. Will in the chat is just asking whether Scott Norman is running around playing 7 different tables simultaneously, all as goblins. I think he could do it, to be fair. And Scott's saying he hopes that all the non-goblin coaches have remembered to tackle. But let's start plowing through, because we've got 49 rosters to get through, and we will start then at the very top. Get mine out of the way nice and quickly. I've gone for ogres. Skill set wise, we've got 6 ogres here: a punter with leader, 2 with block, 2 with break tackle, and 1 with bullseye strong arm. A full roster then of Noblars, 2 rerolls, and Bretonian pastries into this one. Dave, I'll let you pass judgment on me here. I feel like I've probably played it relatively safe. I'm looking forward to throwing Noblars at people's faces for 6 games.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to use the ogre blockers with block on the line. The break tackle ones are going to be a pain in the ass to getting into other tackle zones, and then the last one's just going to start throwing stuff around. So it'd be interesting to see what your day 2 skill would be. I think you might have a plan, but it might change through the course of the day, mightn't it? It might be something totally crazy, but yeah, a solid roster. How many rerolls you got?
2 plus leader.
2 plus leader. Okay, yeah. So it looks like you should be in for a good day. It should be a good day for you.
Certainly hope so. Yes, I do have a day 2 plan. We'll talk about day 2 skills later on. Let's go to the next roster then. Nightmare Before Carrotmas, Shambling Undead. We've got 2 white blitzers, both with block. We've got a Ghoul Runner with wrestle, another Ghoul Runner with block, and Wilhelm Chaney coming into this roster. 2 rerolls in this one. Andy, they're bringing a star player, the first star player we're seeing.
Yeah, I think that's quite an interesting choice. I think I prefer my undead as like the killing team, but the Wilhelm will obviously give you an ability to score reasonably well. It's going to be quite skill light, but I think the fact that they've got 4 Mighty Blow on that team will probably just be able to chip away at teams. Hopefully they can murder a few orcs and a few goblins and lots of other things, and that'll probably lead them to victory in this. Obviously Joe is sitting reasonably well in the standings for the eats, currently sitting 3rd, 49.4. So suspect he's looking at this to kind of go, let's try and improve on one of my lower scores to try and move up in the standings.
the Goblin coach is looking at that block, tackle, mighty blow with some element of fear, I would imagine. Let's keep going then. We've got Snotlings, Luke bringing his Snotling team here, and we've got another star player in tow. Skitter coming into this roster, a pump wagon with block, a pump wagon with pile driver. There is a bullseye strong arm troll there and a block troll. Sure feet on the stilty runner, 3 rerolls and an apothecary, and 2 bribes as well. So fouling on the agenda, but star player with Skitter Dave. Luke's got some options there as well.
Yeah. So this is again a very solid list, and I think this sort of setup is why Andy's put them quite so high up. Skitter Stab is going to be your ball carrier, and everything else is just going to cause carnage, isn't it? Really? He's got a fungus flinger there as well.
So he's got 2 runners and a flinger, just the 1 flinger by the looks of it.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be the carnage. It'll be interesting with the 2 bribes, whether he's going to use them to keep the flinger on, or whether he's going to try and keep the pump wagons on with the fouls. But yeah, that's and Luke pitch cleared me the other week in the league, so I think he's looking to carry on that trend. So yeah, not a bad roster.
That's an open challenge to everyone to try and pitch clear Luke in honor of Mr. Dave Rowe. Let's go to James Handley's roster. It's Underworld Denizens, Warpstone Fowlers. The Troll here, Skaven Blitzer with 2 heads, Gutter Runner with block, Skaven Thrower with leader. And I think we know what James is going for at this particular tournament, because there are 3 clan rats there, all with pile driver. Only the 2 rerolls here, 4 bribes, and a dodgy league ref as well, a biased ref. Andy, it looks like James is probably going for some fouls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Was he upset that Scott Norman won the Norman Boot Award and wants one of his own? I mean, this looks like what he's kind of going for. Do you know what? I love when people go for this idea of that they want to do something. It's going to be fouls, so they're going to build a roster that does it. Is it going to win 6 games, 5 games? Probably not. But James is going to have a hell of a time jumping on some players for 6 games. He's going to have a great time.
Yeah, he is going to have some fun there. I mean, the pile driver, I was trying to work out the best team for fouling, and I didn't consider Underworld. I think I ended up going with Chaos Renegade, because you give all the human linemen devious skills, so you give all of them pile driver. But there's so many options. Have fun, James. That's going to be a very fun day for you. 2 days. We'll go to Fisky's Ruskers. Farseer Fancies, Imperial Nobility, an Ogre, a Blitzer with dodge, a Blitzer with tackle, 4 bodyguards, all with guard, Imperial Thrower with leader, 2 rerolls, an apothecary, a temporary cheerleader, and Bretonian pastries into this one. Dave, Imperial Nobility in this kind of new edition look really good. 4 guard, that's going to give him a lot of control in his 6 games.
Yeah, with their stand firm and guard for the bodyguard, it is going to be hard. Ben's not playing. He looks like he's here to get some points with this one, doesn't he? You know, this roster potentially might even win it. With the dodge and the tackle, he's got the tackle piece in there as well. So all the goblins beware. So yeah, I think Ben's going to be near the top tables. I'm not sure if he's. I was looking back. I don't think he's played 2025 rule set yet. But he's a fantastic coach. So I think he's going to do well with these lads.
Yeah, the pro on those blitzers is so painful to face. So this looks like he's going to be controlling those games and hopefully getting results as well. Going on to our first orc roster then of the day, the Anvil Head Bruisers. We've got a troll, we've got a Big and Blocker, who is the team captain, so block, and obviously team captain giving them pro as well. Another one with block. You've then got 2 blitzers, one with frenzy tackle and one with guard. The orc thrower has leader. There's a lineman with guard for good luck. Just the 1 goblin in there, ready for a throw teammate option. 3 rerolls and an apothecary to round out this first orc roster. Andy, is this what do you think we'll probably see similar to this with all the other ones, or is this a bit different? What do you think?
No, this is probably pretty much what I'd expect. I mean, maybe you could argue that instead of having frenzy tackle, you go mighty blow tackle if you think that there's going to be a load of weaker teams. Obviously, this one's kind of more aimed at maybe dealing with the bash sides a little bit better, trying to reposition. I actually think where orcs are going to become really good is day 2, where they can add one of their primary elites to their linemen, and that's going to be another guard. So we're then looking at basically you've got a strength 5, you've got 2 strength 4s, and then you've got 2 guard on strength 3s. You know, that's going to be a wall of green that you're just going to really struggle to break down, and you're not going to be able to go near the sidelines because that frenzy piece is there. So orcs are just going to be a real problem to beat. They're going to be really good on the top tables for sure.
Good luck to that orc team. We will move on to. I do love a solid, good team name. I'm enjoying World of Beer Craft here for this north side. So we have got a beer ball. I'd be disappointed if there wasn't one based on the name. 2 berserkers, both with tackle. 2 Valkyries, both with dodge. 2 Ulfwerners, both with block. Rounding out with Norse linemen. 3 rerolls and an apothecary. Dave, no Yeti or Skrorg in sight, which I know some people will be disappointed with. What do you think to this one?
Yeah, no, this seems like it's going to be a nice solid roster. The 2 tackle pieces in there with the frenzy are gonna have a field day. Block, frenzy, and tackle. It's going to do a lot of damage. The Valkyries are going to be fairly safe with the additional dodge and the block on the 2 strength 4. So it's a fairly straightforward. He's still got 20k in the bank there, so let's hope he doesn't get robbed on his way to the event. But other than that, it looks like a good solid roster. I mean, again, Norse is one of those teams that seems to get bypassed, and they almost need a bit of a leg up. But I think with the amount of Goblin teams out there, he might, a couple of good matchups, could see a couple of good wins. So yeah, I'd be happy to play that roster.
I think 2 block, frenzy, jump up, tackle pieces. Most casualties, if you get up against some stunties with dodge, that's gonna go well. Let's move on to necromantic horror, Fenfesterers. We have got just the 1 werewolf in this team with block, 2 ghoul runners, 1 with wrestle, 1 with block sure hands, 2 wraiths, 1 with guard, and 2 flesh golems, 1 with guard. Rounded out with zombies, 3 rerolls, Bretonian pastries, and a team mascot, so 3.5 rerolls, I guess. Just the 1 werewolf in this one, Andy, but he's rounded out with all of the other positionals there. What do you think to this one?
Yeah, interesting one. Because Necro are just so expensive, you're struggling to kind of fit everything in. Do you want 13 players? Do you want to take 12 or maybe something else in order to get up to the 2 werewolves? You're also going with the 13 this one. I don't think the Necro are going to be really short of players. They've got regeneration on everything. It would just be, I just wonder whether if they lose that werewolf early doors in any of their games, life might start to get quite uncomfortable and a bit slow because they won't be putting those ghouls anywhere near any place to get whacked. So obviously we're all in kind of on using the werewolf, but we're never probably going to be outnumbered. So there's the potential to just kind of overwhelm your opponent as you kind of chip away. So that's probably the tactic there by the Fenfesterers.
Very much enjoying Waltergeist and Hectoplasm, currently my 2 favorite player names. So congrats on those. Very much enjoying those. Andy, you wondered who was mad enough to take halflings. The answer is Tom Hovell. It's fork you, I won't do what you tell me. Gotta love it. We've got 2 tree men here, multiple block and bullseye on these trees. A halfling hefty with accurate and pass. 2 halfling catchers, both with sure feet. 1 regular halfling hopeful with sprint and 1 with sidestep. Deep Root comes in to make it a 3 tree build here. 2 rerolls, halfling master chef, and 2 temporary cheerleaders. Dave, I played Mr. Hovell in 2 friendlies against this team. He's actually swapped multiple block. He was playing with regular block. He's changed that, so that's something a bit new. How do you think he'll get on with this roster?
What a load of trash this roster is. No, well, John's out of the not John, sorry, Tom's out of the Necro Alliance now because he's playing halfling, but I'll talk to him about that later. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Halflings, they never get very far, do they really? Multiple block on a tree man, if it roots, I mean, you're going to use it maybe not even once a game. So I think again, it's just going to work on the carnage, isn't it? With this, he loves his sure feet. He is able to use sure feet to get 2 extra moves out. Oh no, sure feet's a reroll, isn't it? The sprints where he
Yeah.
tries to get two extra movements out of it, isn't it? But yeah, I think Tom's going to enjoy playing this roster, and he'll play it in the right light. And he's got the Master Chef as well, and that always hurts the opponent. So yeah, I think with this he can win a few, but I think he's gonna enjoy both days. Be interesting to see his mood in between the 2 days and what his second day skill is going to be. I think that will kind of if he's doing well with it, it'll be a sensible skill. If he's having fun with it, then I think it's going to be something a little bit wacky.
I'm trying to get him to follow me down the steady footing route as the secondary, but I don't know if he will. The accurate pass, like. It was an interesting combination. Having played against it twice, it made his one-turn options really solid. He used it really well, so that'll be really interesting to see kind of how he does there. Andy, I'm going to let you tell us about your roster. We've got Bang Average, the humans here. I will let you talk us through this.
Yeah, so I've gone kind of fairly vanilla. I changed around my roster choices a few times. I played with having 2 guard blitzers and then having a wrestle frenzy, which was featured on a recent a Twitch channel rivaling this one, whose name will not be mentioned. And I also played around with maybe Stack and Guard and Mighty Blow on the Human Blitzer. But having a look around, it seems that two Guard does reasonably well, even though there's a load of teams today which have got a load of Guards. So we'll see how we do. I've played okay with humans recently. Juggernaut will obviously deal with the loads of Nurgle that we're facing, but there's some matchups where that Juggernaut might come in useful. And my theory is that I think because you can't use Wrestle when you're using Juggernaut, and given the limit on elite skills, you might see a bit more Wrestle on the roster, so that Blitzer then becomes a bit more impactful.
Very interested to see how that heavily skilled up that team captain, hopefully very much fulfilling his role as team captain and leading your team. 3 rerolls, APOC, team mascot in there. Very best of luck, Andy, with this roster. Let's go on to Nurgle then. Sweet Blight of Mine, very solid name again. 2 Pestigores here, Wrestle and Block. 4 Bloaters, 2 with Block, 3 with Block, 1 with Guard. A Rotspawn, which has been given Stand Firm. Rounding out the roster with Rot Alignment, 3 rerolls, Bretonian Pastries featuring again, and a mascot as well. Dave is the only Nurgle team that we've got. How do we feel about it?
There's no real surprises in this, and I think Mark has been playing Nurgle for quite a while, so he's started to understand the best skills for them. Stand Firm on the Rot Spawn. There's been some talk of whether it's useful or not, but then creating those 5 Stand Firm really does give you that control that you need just to stall your opponent's drive. So yeah, I think he's going to do really well with this. I don't know whether I would have put some more Guard in there. I'm a big fan of Guard over Block, so I might have gone 2 Guard, 2 Block, but I'm sure Mark knows what he's doing, and yeah, I think he'll do well with this roster.
He has been enjoying Nurgle, doing very well in the league with them at the minute. So good luck, Mark, on this latest venture out. Let's go to our first Chaos Chosen side that we're seeing then. We have got 4 chosen, 1 with break, tackle, block, 3 with just block. Beastman lineman with sure hands, Beastman lineman with wrestle. And then the ogre, the big guy of choice in this Chaos Chosen team, which he has given guard to. 4 rerolls in this Chaos Chosen side. Chaos Chosen's rerolls cheaper than they used to be, and a team mascot. So 4.5 rerolls for this one. Pretty solid, we think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, you can have them 4 strength 4 guys, and obviously the ogre. I think it's really good. I've played a lot against Chaos Chosen, just kind of how it's fallen during my Team England development pathway stuff. They're actually really good. The only difference I've seen is that there's a number of people who've been put in 2-block 2 guard, and then I think you get a little bit more out of the rerolls. But I think it's a very good choice. As I say, Chaos do things very solidly. There'll probably be games where you'll go, oh, I wish I just got a little bit more removal, and I think my life would have been better. But that's not going to be a roster problem. That's just a Chaos Chosen thing.
Well, I think speaking to Rodders, I know that he's looking to use potentially the Chaos Chosen as ball carriers, I think, because he's permanently talking about that. But he has got sure hands on the Beastman lineman. But normally you would see two heads or two hands on one of the Beastmen to give them a little bit more agility and a little bit more picking up. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on with this. It'll be interesting with no guard. Depending on what he matches up against, he might struggle.
I really enjoy Chaos Chosen. I've made them work better in 7s than I have in 11s, but I really like them. So Shane, hopefully you have a good weekend with that team. Let's have a look at a Goblin roster then. It is Scott Norman. It is Jaffa Cakes. Yeah. If Scott or anyone else in the chat can remind me what Jaffa Cakes stands for, then I will happily read it out. He has gone for a roster that probably surprises no one. James Handley, take a look. Take a look. This is your competition for the most fouls. We've got a Black Gobbo. We have got a Looney with pile driver, a Chainsaw with pile driver. We've got Bomber with Accurate. We have then got 4 Goblin linemen, all with pile driver. There's an Hooligan in there. The roster is then filled out with Goblin linemen. No trolls in here whatsoever. Just the 2 rerolls, 3 bribes, 1 part-time assistant coach, and 1 team mascot. Dave, it is a Scott Norman roster, and I have no doubt we're going to see lots of uphill pile drivers as the weekend goes on.
Yeah, this is classic Norman, isn't it? And I'm pleased to say he signed up for the IBL this season. So any IBL coach, this is the sort of roster that we're going to be up against this season. So, but I mean, it's going to be maybe the closest battle of the weekend between him and James for who's going to take the most fouls. But I know Scott has optimised this. I really hope that I play him because he's a fantastic opponent to play, and he really does play in the spirit of Blood Bowl, and he's a fantastic lad. So I really do hope that I kind of play against him. And we've been chatting all week, and he's never beaten me in any of the events, and I said, well, it's coming. But I think if I was to face this roster, I think there's a chance. But no, I love it. Typical Norman.
Do you know what I would actually say about this roster? Anyone who's going there, I think this weekend with views of trying to win, I don't think they're going to want to play Scott game 1. I would not want to play him game 1 if I'm trying to win, because this roster has the potential to really explode on an opponent. Has the chance to go the other way, but I mean, contenders probably don't want to face this because they could beat you on that first game.
Yeah, definitely.
Justin's in chat saying you can't use pile driver after a chainsaw. So Dave, I'll let you field any questions from Scott that may bring, and figure out how that works. But let's go on to the next roster. It is Slan. It's the Broomfield Bunny Boys. We have got a croc score in this roster. We have got 2 Slan catchers, 1 with guard and dodge, and 1 with just dodge. We've got a Slan blitzer with block, 2 Slan linemen with skills here, 1 with strip ball and 1 with tackle, 5 rerolls in this roster, and then Bretonian pastries as well. Andy, I am not very knowledgeable on Slan. I've never played them. I don't know if I've played against them. How does this look for a Slan roster?
Well, they're not a team, so let's move on. No, so I can say that because it's Ian. I have nightmares about Slan after I played Willow at UKTC Turn 7, I was winning the game. By the end of Willow's turn 8, I had lost 2-1. Because basically they'd gone in, they'd hopped in, they'd knocked the ball over, they'd recovered it, they'd thrown it down the field and used diving catch to collect the ball, to which they ran into the end zone. It was outrageous. I've never been so cross after a game with that. The dice were just, but it happens. And this is the thing about Slan. They are so brilliant on defense because the ball is just not safe. You just got to basically hope that those leaps don't come off, or they can't recover the ball, or you can murder them. That's the other option. You can get rid of those two catches. That's where the game I think goes south for this Slan team.
No lizards, so I will be supporting this Slan team because it has a croc score. So there's my backing behind a coach for the weekend. Let's move on to Rats of the Red Wall. We have got our first Skaven coach, Skaven thrower here, Blitzer with Mighty Blower, Blitzer with Tackle, 2 Gutter Runners, 1 with Block and 1 with Block Sidestep. We have got a Rat Ogre in this roster with Juggernaut, 3 rerolls, 2 assistant coaches, and an Apothecary as well. I've lost track of where I am. I think I'm going to Dave. There we are. Dave, how does this Skaven team look?
Well, this is Adam's roster, and he the Ipswich Classic, he got 3 wins, and I think he didn't take the award away due to bonus points and so forth. So I think this is going to be a roster to look out for over the course of the 3 days, and the way that we're doing the strength of schedule for tie breaks with the crunch. He might have the same amount of wins and then come out a lot better. So this is a classic Skaven roster with what he's took: Mighty Blow, a bit of tackle in there for the greenskins, block and sidestep block. So I think Adam's going to have a good weekend with this one. I think he's going to rack up quite a few wins. So this might be a team to keep your eye on, really.
Good luck to Skaven. See if they can come away with something this weekend. Let's have a look at Bester's side. He's gone for Elven Union. 2 catchers here, both with dodge. A thrower with leader. Another thrower with no additional skill there. A blitzer with tackle and dodge. Another blitzer with dodge. And a lineman with wrestle. 2 rerolls, an apothecary, and a team mascot. Andy, this was in the bottom part of the list. How does this Elven Union side look to you?
I mean, it's still elves, right? So they're still good. They're still really good. The only reason they're down in that bottom tier for me is just because I think there are better choices to play elves. If you want to play elves and you want to play a passing game, you want to play a long stretch play game, go and play high elves. But the Union do have those fabulous blitzers, and they are fabulous. You're going to stick them on some corner. You can't really hit them at the wrong times because they're just going to get sucked into a worse position. They're not going to go down unless you're in it with tackle. It's a really interesting roster, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Fumblerooski all the way up the field to score on a 2-turn. I think that would be a thing of beauty to actually see.
Yeah, would love to see Fumblerooski in action from this side. Let's jump along to another elf side. It is Wood Elves. It's Would You Believe It? We have 2 war dancers, 1 with strip ball and 1 with tackle. We have 2 catchers, 1 with sidestep. We have 2 throwers, 1 with leader and 1 with cannoneer. A lineman with wrestle, 2 rerolls, and an apothecary in this side. Dave, how does this Wood Elf team look to you?
Wow, it's quite interesting. There's no elite skills, so that sort of stands out. This is our boy Ben, who is part of the Carrot Crunch All Stars. So I don't know how good he is with Wood Elves, but he looks like with the cannoneer, it looks like he's looking to do some stretch plays with this. But the second catcher isn't skilled up. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with these. Again, a little bit of tackle to try and help bring down the gobos. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Ben plays this.
Yeah, not like you said, not many elite skills chosen here, but a team that comes with some good key elite skills on the key players, I guess. So interesting to see how Ben gets on. The best of luck to you, Ben. Let's jump on to the next one. Another team name that I really enjoy. Mum, we've got Underworld at home. Very much enjoy that. This is Goblin side. 2 train trolls, one with Brawler and one with Guard. An Hooligan with Quick Foul. A Doom Diver with Catch. The Looney has Dodge. Skitter and Creek coming into this roster as star players. 1 reroll, 2 bribes, and a temporary cheerleader. Maybe slightly more traditional in this Goblin build than the all pile driver one that we saw from Scott. Andy, but what do you think to this one?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the pleasure of playing some of the community's best Goblin coaches when played competitively. That's not to say that Scott is not a brilliant Goblin coach, because he absolutely is. But this looks like a competitive Goblin roster. I love Creek. I love the idea of the dodge on the Looney. Keeping that on the pitch. I suspect the bribes are probably for them. If you can use the ball and chains really well, and I have seen them used really well, they will be a fantastic front of your cage. And obviously, if you add the 2 trolls in there, it's really hard to break them down. What Rigrig will be hoping for is that opponents just can't get round the sides and start picking off some of those Goblin linemen and start isolating the trolls, because that's where the problems, I think, will start to come for the Goblins.
Best of luck to this Goblin side. It'll be interesting to see who takes home the title of Best Goblin over the weekend. Let's move on to Tom Huns and his Orc roster, lovingly labelled Test. I wondered whether he thought about a different one and gave up in the end. We have got an Orc Blitzer with Tackle, an Orc Blitzer who is the team captain with Mighty Blow, 2 big and blockers that he has given block to both of them, a troll with Guard, a thrower with Wrestle, a lineman with Block, 4 rerolls, 1 dedicated fans always there, 4 rerolls, an Apothecary, and Bretonian Pastries. Dave, this looks pretty disgusting orcness that we're maybe expecting to see.
Yeah, this is the sort of roster that we'd expect to see. And look at this, I can see why Andy's put the Orc so high up, because it seems like they just kept on going and going and going with these skills. But I know Tom's been unwell this week, so that might be why his team name hasn't changed, the poor lad. So he's going to brave it and make an appearance at the weekend. But yeah, there's no great surprises in this roster at all. I think he's going to do well with these. I think he's currently our leader. Yeah, he's the number 1 ranked coach in the East. So it will be interesting to see how many more points he can chalk up with this roster. I think he's made the right choice with this.
Yeah, it'll be good to see Tom at the weekend, and this roster definitely gives him a pretty solid chance over the 2 days. So best of luck to you, Tom. Let's go on to our next team, which is Entropy Enforcers. Enforcers, maybe not Enforcers, not sure. Either way, it's Chaos Chosen again, and this time they have gone for the Minotaur. Claws and Juggernaut on that Minotaur, 4 block across all of the chosen blockers. You've got a Beastman lineman with Wrestle and a Beastman lineman with Tackle. 3 rerolls, an assistant coach, and an apothecary coming in for this one. Andy, it's another mutation light Chaos Chosen, but I like seeing the Minotaur in there.
Yeah, a different platform than we saw to the other one. Joyce Fields is a really good coach. When I had a little look at him on the NAF website, a 60+% win rate coach, been playing for a long time. I think took Chaos to the NAF Championships and finished 13th with them. I'm not sure if this is with the same roster, but yeah, really good roster. I always personally hate Claws after playing a bit of Corn and just realizing that Claws just doesn't work as much as you want it to. Hopefully that for this roster it will do some work, and it will win you a game. Across 6 games, the Claw Mighty Blow will just break down a team and win one for you. It'll be whether the rest of the team can carry when that claw mighty blow isn't working.
This coach absolutely schooled me in how to play lizards in Lizards versus Lizards at KTC earlier this year. So it'd be good to see him again. And no doubt if I end up facing this team, I will be smashed.
Drez is an old Carrot Crunch. He used to come to the original ones. So it was nice. We met him at Kent Teen Championship, and then
you guys played him as well, didn't you? We both, yeah.
He beat me as well. He was trying to give me hints and tips, and no, I'm going to re-roll it again, kind of thing, you know. But the year that I ruptured my Achilles, he's a nurse, and he said, "No, you'll be fine." And then I was in crutches by the end of the day. So don't believe a word that he says. Especially if he tells you to look away, Chris, you know what he's going to do, don't you?
Yeah.
If he goes, look over there, you know what he's going to do. So be careful with that. But I'm pleased he's coming over, and Christoph as well. So it's really nice to see them.
One Chaos Chosen to another then, and we've got the Block and Rollers here with a star player in tow for this Chaos Chosen side. Grashnak coming in to give them a Minotaur. The 4 chosen Chaos Chosen, 1 have guard, 2 have guard, 2 have tackle. Beastman Lineman with Leader as a secondary, 2 Beastman Linemen with Block, and then the Troll coming in as the big guy for this Chaos Chosen side. Just the 1 reroll, but then obviously Leader is in there as well. Dave, this is a very different approach to the other Chaos Chosens we've seen with the star player coming in, so the 2 big guys, which is nice to see.
Yeah, this is an interesting one from Ollie. I know with the 2020 rule set, he played quite a lot of Beastmen, and he was getting quite a lot of success in a league format. Obviously, players can be developed with multiple skills. So I like the fact that he's got 2 guard on there. That's going to give him a bit of control on the line. The tackle, whether it seemed like a bad decision at the time, but looking at the amount of Goblin rosters that we've got, that might be a blessing in disguise. So I think he's going to do well with this team. The 2 block on the Beastman's going to give him the flexibility for the strength 4 blitz and so forth. And then you've also got the Black Hoof, the star player, and the Ogre to give him, I say, a little bit of stability. So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting roster. So good luck to Ollie with this.
I think if you knew how many goblins and other stunties with dodge and stuff were coming, armbar tackle feels really nice to have in your arsenal. So I think Ollie could have some fun marking up some dodge pieces and seeing what happens there. Good luck to you, Ollie. Let's see how those get on. Let's move on to Ash's roster here. OWA, Orgasmically Wonderful Ash. We've got. Let's have a look. Where do you start with Old World Alliance? Because there's so many. Right. So we've got Halfling Hopeful. We've got 3 human linemen. We've then got 3 dwarf linemen. Then to the skills: a human catcher with Block, a human thrower with Leader, a human blitzer with Mighty Blow, a troll slayer with Tackle, a dwarf blitzer with Mighty Blow, the tree man coming in with this one with Guard, 3 rerolls rounding out this roster. Andy, we know OWA are pretty strong generally. How do you feel about this one?
I think it's going to be really interesting, as we've just had the FAQ come out, how the Loner 4+ on the tree is going to affect the team, because I think before they had that, you could throw a reroll at a route if it was kind of early doors, turn 2, turn 3, and you can keep the tree moving to keep up with the other dwarf linemen. That creates a really solid front. Now the tree, when it roots, is probably going to stay rooted because you're probably not going to throw a reroll at it. So I think this team has become a little bit weaker. If you're choosing the tree man, it's still a very solid roster, but you've got the same sort of problems as the old World Alliance had. Was you've got 1 catcher. If you do lose it, there is all of your pace gone. Just got to be really careful at just making sure you can't get blitzes on that human catcher, and we have got a load of players with chainsaws, tackle mighty blow, that can do a number on a player should they can catch him.
Ash confidently in the chat saying trees never root. Ash, you can let us know after the weekend whether that was correct or not, but best of luck with that roster. Let's move on to another human side here, the Marienburg War Griffins. We've got an Ogre with Guard, Blitzer with Mighty Blow and Guard, another Blitzer with Guard and Team Captain. The Thrower has Leader, a Catcher with Block, and another Catcher with Wrestle. 2 Halflings in this roster, ready to throw, 3 rerolls, an Apothecary, and a Keg. Dave, how are you feeling about this human roster then? I'm glad there are some Halflings in there to be thrown down the pitch.
Yes. Yeah. It just looks like a good standard human roster. Mighty Blow, Guard on the human blitzers, not a bad choice. Guard on the Ogre again, give you a bit of control on the line. The other blitzer with Guard, so 3 Guard on there, 2 tackle. What's that? 3 block. That's quite a lot of skills that you're going to need to win a game. So I think Matthew's going to do really well with these. How many rerolls did he have? Sorry.
He has got 3 rerolls plus Leader.
3 rerolls. Yeah, and with the team captain as well, potentially keeping one of them alive. He should do good with these. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes with them.
The stack with the Mighty Blow and Guards, interesting to say. That was one I played around with. The only reason I didn't go for it is because it ties up a lot of value in that one player. It's the second most expensive player on that roster, and if you lose, probably the Apothecary is designated for that player and nobody else. So as long as it stays alive, that player is going to be a real menace.
Best of luck to William on this roster. Good luck to see how you get on over the weekend. Let's go to another Goblin roster then, shall we? We've got What's Up Doc here, 2 trained trolls, both with secondaries of block. We have a Goblin lineman with Dirty Player and Sneaky Git. I wonder what he's going to be doing. Then we have a Chainsaw here, Loonies in this roster. And then 2 star players, Scrapper Sawhead and Varag coming in to this one. 3 rerolls in this roster. Interesting. So this is the first kind of Goblin build we're seeing with 3 big guys solidly stood there on the line. Andy, how are we feeling about these Goblins?
Yeah, I think just a completely different. It's another different tactic, isn't it? With compared to other ones, the trolls will stay up as long as they can have friends to look after them. The Dirty Player, Sneaky Git, unless you're unlucky with the rolls, should do some work. The Looney should do some work, and obviously Varag's your blitzer. So a really solid Goblin choice here. I don't dislike it. It'll be interesting to see how all of these different variations do across the weekend. It's going to be very competitive with the Stunty Cup.
I think it's quite interesting that we're seeing more of the Orc rosters and more of the Goblin rosters. The level of variety we're seeing in the Goblins versus the level of variety we're seeing in the Orcs, I think is quite interesting with the 2 kind of most common teams. So good luck to those Goblins. See who comes out as top Goblin this weekend. Let's go to the Langdon Looters. It is a Norse side. We have got 2 Valkyries here, Dodge and Wrestle on those, 2 Berserkers with no additional skills, 2 Ulferners, both with block. A Yeti comes into play with block as well. There are 2 beer balls hidden in this roster. Also 2 rerolls, a temporary cheerleader, and Bretonian pastries. Dave, how is this one looking to you? It's the first Yeti that we've seen.
Yeah, it's nice to see a Yeti again as the big guy for the Norse team. I am really intrigued by Norse. I used to play them way back when, and I really enjoyed playing them and racking up the casualties with them when it was the original all block strength 3 roster. So I'm really intrigued to see how people get on with them. Brendan's a brilliant coach as well. He's a lovely lad. So I think with this he's going to have a lot of fun. The wrestle on the Valkyries is quite an interesting one, but he can still use it as a ball carrier. So, and blocking up the 2 strength 4 on the Yeti makes sense. So it looks like he's there to bash with all the block that he's got. So it'll be interesting. I wouldn't want to face a Norse roster. I think with the amount of block, if you haven't got enough on your roster and you're just not getting through his armor, I think there's always the potential for them to do well. but they do sometimes seem to implode a little bit. I think in League they're a little bit better because they seem to get a little bit of longevity. But for me, they always seem like they're on the fringe. Maybe it's a little bit of legacy from when I played them way back when. But no, it'll be good to see how Brendan gets on with these.
Best of luck to this Norse side. That's enough proper teams. Let's go back to some goblins, shall we? Have another goblin side here. 2 trained trolls in this roster, again, both with block. Mighty Blow on the ball and chain. A Doom Diver, an Ooligan with Sneaky Get, a Looney with Dirty Player, a regular goblin lineman, or 2 regular goblin linemen, both with diving tackle, and Fungus the Loon coming in to give 2 ball and chains in this roster. 2 rerolls, 1 assistant coach, 3 bribes. Andy, 2 ball and chains here. I think it's the first time we're seeing Fungus, which is going to be fun. And Mighty Blow on the other ball and chain. That's going to be entertaining as well.
Yeah, again, it's just a different combination from Creek and Fungus. Obviously Creek has that, he can come back, I think, once on the drive. I think that's still his special rule, so that's going to be useful. Probably you're going to be fine and you've got both of those ball and chains on, I think, for most of the game. Depends kind of how the rest of it goes. What I really like is, I don't think we've seen this on any of the goblin rosters, I really like dive and tackle on a couple of goblin linemen. If you can get those just inserted around the ball carrier, and don't forget that this roster can take another skill on day 2, which is a primary. So we could be seeing a dive and tackle, a sidestepper on day 2. I think that would be an interesting choice. Could be competitive in that Sunday Cup.
Yeah, they've not done their stack yet. So, yes, interesting to see where they choose to go with that on one of those 2 goblins. Or whether we see 3 diving tackle, who knows? We'll see what ends up on the field. Let's go to our next roster then, which is the Bashing Pumpkins. It is Chaos Chosen. We have got a Minotaur with block. We have got 4... a dog's just broken into my room. We have got 4 Chosens, 3 with block, 1 with guard. We have then got Wrestle and Sure Hands on Beastman lineman. 3 rerolls and an apothecary in this one. It's another Minotaur, Dave, and block on it this time. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, this looks like a very sort of classic Chaos Chosen roster. I think I might have played you a couple of times with my Chaos Chosen on the pathway, Andy, and I think this was similar to something that I had. I think I might have had an additional guard, and there's always a debate of the Minotaur over the Ogre. I think if you want a little bit more consistency, you have the Ogre. If you want a little bit of razzle dazzle, the Minotaur's there, but he'll always let you down. So yeah, it looks like a classic roster. We know he's going to be his ball carrier. We know that he's going to be hard to push around on the line. So yeah, this looks like a bog standard, nice Chaos Chosen roster. No, but we haven't seen any mutations, have we, for the Chaos Chosen? And I thought that with the amount of Chosen that we'd seen on there, we would see some nice mutations. So hopefully day 2 we're going to start to see some claws or prehensile tails. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Grant just pointing out that we did have the claw Mino on Drosefield's roster.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're not seeing more on the Beastman lineman, because mutations always feel a little bit like a skill and a half, or like combinations of 2 skills. I thought maybe we'd see more on some of those, but it is we've gone very kind of traditional general skills on most of them, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Let's plow through. There may be another. I've lost count of how many Chaos Chosen rosters we've gone through. We've possibly been through 5 now, so that might be it. But let's have a look at what could possibly go wrong. It is the Wood Elf side. We have got 2 war dancers, 1 with strip ball and 1 with tackle. We have got a thrower with leader. 2 catchers, 1 with sidestep, 1 with block. A lineman with kick. It's the first kick that I think we've seen so far. 2 rerolls, Bretonian pastries, a keg, and a temporary cheerleader. Andy, how are these elves looking to you?
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty solid and standard Wood Elf roster. I think Nick taking advantage of the Team England development pathway stuff. Looks like a well set up Wood Elf team. I think we've seen another Wood Elf team with kind of a similar build. I think the temptation is going to be to kind of get stuck in with Wood Elves and not sit back. But I think hopefully all the Wood Elf coaches will just remember, just sit back, just wait for your one turn, get your one turn, and then make sure you score on your offense, and you're going to win 2-1. And those Wood Elf teams will do really well if you can just have that discipline across those 6 games to just go, oh, I just want to get stuck in. Just sit back and just do your Wood Elf stuff.
Best of luck to these Wood Elves. I had miscounted. We do have another Chaos Chosen roster to look through, and it is the next one that we've got. Red Rags and a Bull. We have got 4 Chaos Chosen, 2 with Block, 2 with Guard. Minotaur with Claws and Juggernaut. Wrestle on 1 lineman, Tackle on another, 4 rerolls and Bretonian Pastries. This looks a little bit like a combo of some of the ones we've seen earlier. Dave sits somewhere in the middle of them all.
Yeah. This is a solid roster. I don't think this is. I know Dan went to the Kent TC, and I think oh no, it might have been Ipswich Classic. I think he played Nick, and I watched one of his games. I can't remember if this was the roster he took, but yeah, he stacked the skills on the Minotaur with Claws, Juggernaut. That's going to be very painful if that kicks off. The 2 Guard, which we like, the 2 Block on the Chaos Chosen. So yeah, another solid roster. And again, we starting to see a mutation with the Claws and the Bretonian Pastries as well. So I think this is a good solid roster. Dan should finish quite high with this, I think.
A lot of Bretonian Pastries. It's quite a kind of, feels like an obvious 15k choice, and a lot of coaches have picked up just to spend that extra treasury. So we'll see how many more we see. Next up is Joseph. He's bringing High Elves, last year's Carrot Crunch champion, bringing the new team this year. 2 Dragon Princes, both with Dodge. 2 White Lions, 1 with Frenzy and Dodge, and 1 with Dodge. A Phoenix Warrior with Leader. 2 rerolls, an Apothecary, and Bretonian Pastries coming in to round out this roster. Andy, is this a defending your title roster that we've got here?
I mean, I was trying to think about, when I was talking about the benefits that playing Orcs gives you. They're a really strong choice. Do I think that that's going to bridge the gap to a coach of the quality of Joseph? He's Team Wales captain for a reason. Stick whatever roster you want as long as it's semi-functional. It'll be really strong. I think the strength of this roster is its coach rather than necessarily what's on it. You could give Joseph pretty much whatever you wanted and he'd do well with it. It was interesting. I played against High Elves at NAFC. I really liked the Frenzy White Lion. I think that's a really good choice. The difference was obviously you weren't allowed to stack, so there wasn't a dodge on that. But I really like the Frenzy on the White Lion. It's just going to constrict the pitch. It's going to force people to play in the middle until they absolutely have to go down the sidelines, and then you're going to be in trouble with that surf and potential.
What I'm hearing from you, Andy, is that we need to pick Joseph's rosters going forward. I'm perfectly fine with that. We'll give Tom Hovel a call. He can build some halfling rosters, and I think we're all good. So we'll keep an eye on that for the next one. Let's go to the next roster then. It is Andrew. He is bringing Orcs. We have got a Troll in this roster. We have got 2 big and blockers, both with Block. Orc Blitzer with Tackle and Team Captain, and another Orc Blitzer with Guard. 2 throwers, 1 with Block, 1 with Wrestle, and a lineman with Guard. 3 rerolls and Bretonian Pastries, and an Apothecary in this side. Dave, it's a similar kind of combination of the skills we're seeing across the Orcs. We're kind of seeing similar stuff. So how are we feeling about this one?
Yeah, no big surprises. I wonder if the roster would give you anything else if you just drop a thrower and take more men, but the Orcs don't really need them, do they? So yeah, this again, an unskilled Troll would be a surprise, and he's got enough linemen to put a secondary skill on for day 2. So yeah, I think Andrew's gonna be okay with this roster. They all seem very similar. They seem like they're going to churn out the results. They might be outmatched by High Elf or somebody else like that with a little bit of agility, but it seems like this one's going to churn out the results that he's going to want with that skill set. So I can't see Andrew having a problem with these.
Best of luck, Andrew, with this roster. Let's fly through to the next one, which is the new batch. It is another Goblin coach. It is Scott of Aardvarks and Dragons fame. He has gone for 2 trained trolls, one with strong arm and one with bullseye strong arm. I think we know what his intention is for the weekend. Sprint on a pogoer. We've got a ball and chain. We've got an hooligan in there, and we've got a loony. We've then got 3 goblin linemen, one with sprint, one with wrestle, and one with diving tackle. A Doom Diver with sprint in this roster as well, and Acorn the Squirrel coming in to round out the team. 3 rerolls, 2 assistant coaches, 1 bribe. Again, Andy, it's another different Goblin mix-up here, and one that is clearly built to throw as many Goblins as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested that whether I know it's a secondary, but if you put something like kick on this roster, whether that diving tackle and that wrestle, because you've got two players who can throw, just whacking those down the field and just plonking them on the potential ball recoverer. That's going to cause a real problem. I think this is we're talking about one particular section of the game, but I think it's got a potential to do really well in that section of the game, and so it could cause a problem. It's going to be one of those ones again where you're going to see your coaches that are going there to do well this weekend are going to look at any of these Goblin rosters and just go, I really don't want to play you game 1. Can I just play something normal? It's again, I like it.
I would say if you do get to play Scott over the weekend, this roster looks particularly fantastic. They are all painted to look like gremlins, and the roster, the team itself do look pretty incredible. So keep an eye out for a gremlin looking team. They look pretty fantastic. Let's go to another Goblin side then. It is Chris, and it's Go Easy with Small. 2 trained trolls. I'm looking at a roster that has no skills on it. Dave, I'll let you have conversations with Chris. I've got 2 trained trolls, Fanatic, Hooligan, Loony, Bomber, Doom Diver, Pogoer, Nobbler coming into this one. 3 rerolls, 5k left in the treasury, 2 bribes in this roster. No skills to look at on this one. Probably Chris has probably just missed that off, but he's gone for all of the bells and whistles, I guess. Dave.
Yeah. Chris was going to be. He wasn't sure what day I needed him for, so whether it be Saturday or Sunday. So he's obviously not got round to doing it. But I think he is the current wooden spoon champion of the Carrot Crunch, and I know he's picked up a couple of other little spoons elsewhere. So maybe it's the lack of skills that he's actually got in the players that has been hampering him. But again, with Chris is here for the fun of the game. So God knows what skills he's going to put on there. But I know that if you was to pair up with him, you'll have a fantastic game. So good luck to Chris. And I need to let him know whether he's here for both days or just for the one. So I think he will be down for 2. So he should get 6 games out of that roster.
Cool. Best of luck, Chris, with your Goblin roster. Let's plow on through to the next one, which is Pointy Hatted Prancers. It is Justin, and we have got 2 Dragon Princes, one with Sidestep and Dodge, and one with Dodge. 2 White Lions, both with Dodge, and a Phoenix Warrior with Leader. 2 rerolls into this roster, an Apothecary, a Team Mascot, and a Keg. So no frenzy on this one, Andy, but some solid skills spread across the board.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we've got the stack ability. We've basically got ourselves an Elven Union Blitzer with the block dodge sidestep. They're all elves, so it's a good roster. They'll cage dive at some point, and it'll be interesting. I can see obviously a bit of chat in the comments there about high elf rosters. It'll be interesting to see them compare notes after the 6 days, but a very solid and functional high elf roster. No real surprises.
I wonder whether we could see some, particularly between teams where there are lots of the same team and different rosters, whether we could see people kind of decide on their second day skill based on how the other coaches have got on in day one, whether some of these high off coaches with just one variation in their skill look at day two and kind of consider the roster based on who else has done what and how well they've gone. It might be quite interesting to kind of see how people react.
Yeah.
Let's have a look then at the next roster. It is another Norse roster, the Gladiators by the amazing Will. We have got a Yeti with Juggernaut. We have got 2 Offwurners, both with block, 2 Valkyries, 1 with dodge, and 2 Berserkers, both with tackle. 3 rerolls into this roster. Dave, it's another Yeti. Juggernaut feels like an interesting choice on the Yeti, but it could be quite fun.
Yeah. I think this is my third Norse roster that you've given me. So yeah, just rinse and repeat again. A little bit of block on the stroke 4, but no, Juggernaut on the Yeti is an interesting choice. I think Will did well in the Langdon League recently. I don't know if it was with Norse that he won, so it might be a case of that he's coming off the back of a series of games with a Norse, and he's understood that how Juggernaut walks with the Yeti. It's not a bad shout with Frenzy. It's going to allow you to push through that first set of dice. Again, 2 tackle on the Berserkers with the block Frenzy jump up tackle. Yeah, so it's going to be. I think will enjoy playing this roster. He should have a good day with this one.
Best of luck to you, Will. If you're not bored of us going through rosters yet, then well done for sticking with us. If you're getting bored, don't worry. I am on the last page of scrolling on my screen that I'm using on the side. So we are getting towards the end of these rosters. Let's go to the Plague Brigade. It is Skaven. It is Carl. Some fantastic player names in this roster. Let's see what he has gone for. A Rat Ogre with Juggernaut, a Blitzer with Tackle and Break Tackle, a Skaven Blitzer with no additional skills, 2 Gutter Runners here, 1 with Block and 1 with Wrestle, a Thrower, no additional skills there, a Clan Rat with Steady Footing, interesting choice. He has gone for 3 rerolls, he has gone for Apothecary, and he has gone for a part-time assistant coach in this roster. Break Tackle I am liking on the Blitzer, Andy. Steady Footing on the Clan Rat I think is an interesting choice. What do you think of this one?
Yes, not my choice for Steady Footing, I would probably say, but I think a lot of people are liking Break Tackles on their Skaven Blitzers, and I know there was a lot of negative reaction to Skaven rosters when they first were released in this edition. I really like the Blitzers now, Block, Strip, Ball, and then you put Break Tackle on them as well. I mean, if you look at a lot of the rosters we've seen, there's a lot of chaos out there. There's a lot of goblins out there. You're going to be able to get that ball free, and essentially the idea with Skaven is get 3-0 up before all your players are dead. And that tackle break tackle definitely does that. I think my only change probably would be is if you had the spare skill for that steady footing, put another break tackle on the Skaven Blitzer, and then you've got a bit of redundancy.
Best of luck to you, Carl. I've played his Skaven at the Revolution last year, and he did very well to win that tournament. So best of luck to you. I'm very much enjoying in the chat the referring to the Clan Rat with Steady Footing as a hairy Grail Knight. Very much enjoying that. Let's go to the next side then. It is the first Tomb Kings that we are seeing. We have got Tomb Guardian with multiple block and Mighty Blow, and then Guard on the other 3 Tomb Guardians. We have got a Tomb King Blitzer with Mighty Blow and another one with Tackle. 2 throwers, both into this roster, but with no additional skills, rounded out with Skeleton Lineman, 3 rerolls, and 2 temporary cheerleaders. Dave, it's the first Tomb Kings that we are seeing. Multi-block Mighty Blow could be interesting if he gets the right opponent.
Yeah, I think with that amount of guard, he's going to be using that on the line as his first block to potentially push two players across the line from further blocks, and then with Mighty Blow. So it's not a bad shout, to be honest with you. And obviously, Mighty Blow is going to kick in on other blocks away from the multiple blocks. So it'll be keen to see how this roster gets on. I love Guard, and I love the amount of Guard that he's got on those strength fives. That's going to give him quite a lot of control. Maybe a little bit of frenzy on something would then try and keep everything into the middle to hit this wall of Tomb Guardians. Again, we're seeing an added tackle, which is handy. So I think the day two skill will depend on how he gets on for the day. I think this is Angus. I think he normally plays Norse as well, so it'll be interesting to sort of see a bit of a change with this roster. But I like it. I like it a lot. I think Tomb Kings might be one of the sort of teams that I'd veer to. So it'll be interesting to see the results for the day.
Best of luck to the Tomb Kings tomorrow. We will move on to the next roster, which is the first gnomes that we're seeing of the day. We have got 2 tree men, one with bullseye. We have got a wooden fox with sure feet, an illusionist with leader, a beastmaster there with no additional skills, a gnome lineman with lethal flight. You love to see it. A deep root coming into this side as well as Willow Rosebark, star player into this team also. Just the 1 reroll and a team mascot for this one. And I do want to give a bit of a shout out to this coach for jumping in at the deep end, relatively new to the East Anglian Blood Bowl scene, and is diving in with a tournament day. So best of luck to him. We're gonna give him a big warm welcome. Andy, this roster looks fun. I enjoy seeing Bullseye and Lethal Flight on the same sheet, so I just think this looks fun.
Yeah. No, I really like the fact you've got three trees. I wonder if there was did we have a look at a maple and deep root and then the 2 trees? I think that's super fun. But I really like this roster. I really like, you got the 2 players in there. I actually think gnomes are a fun choice. You got the fox, which will do some work as long as you can get the ball to him. And you've got plenty of wrestle there with the stunty. So, going in maybe 2 dice uphill, see what happens. That'll be just giggling at the comment in the comments. There's a lot of wood in that roster. I like that. I really like it, and well done for kind of jumping in at the deep end and going for gnomes as well, going for a stunty team. I hope you have fun with it.
Yeah, best of luck. It's going to be a good introduction to some very fun Blood Bowls. So best of luck to you. Let's go to our next team. It is the first Dark Elves that we are seeing on the list. We have got 2 Blitzers, both with Dodge. We have got 2 Witch Elves, one with Block and one with Wrestle. We have got a Dark Elf Runner with Leader and an Assassin with Dodge. 2 rerolls and an Apothecary in this roster. Dave, it's the only Dark Elves that we are seeing. How does this one look to you?
It looks, to a certain extent, very standard. The coach, Darren, who is a fantastic coach, will do really well with these. And I seem like I've been saying that for everybody, but we all know Darren very well. He's very predominant on the scene. He's a fantastic coach. I think this list is very similar to the list that won the NAFC. So it will be very interesting to see. Oh, there we go. I was looking for the assassin. Yeah, so he's got an assassin in there as well. So the hit and run and the stab, I think it is so useful for them. It's a free armor roll with no fallback on it at all. I think this might be a roster that we'll see near the top, especially in the hands of Darren. It's going to do really well. So this will be one to keep our eye out for.
Best of luck with these Dark Elves. Yeah, I do enjoy the hit and run stab. I really enjoy. So it will be good to see how well he manages to utilize that over the weekend. Let's move on to Dwarf roster. Here, smash and grab the ball. We have got a Dwarf runner with block, 2 Troll Slayers, both with guard, 2 Blitzers, both with guard, a Dwarf lineman with a dirty player and sneaky gits, 3 rerolls and a bribe in this roster. Andy, I seem to just be making you talk about the teams that you put in your bottom group. But this one, the dirty player sneaky git kind of jumps out to me because the dwarves have got all this devious access. I think that's leaning into it quite nicely.
Yeah, the problem I have with dwarves is that because the blitzers have lost one of their points of agility access, they're now even slower than they were, and even less maneuverable. And if they can't make their way up the pitch in the first 4 turns, they're going to really start to struggle to score. Didn't take the death roller, which I think you should take if you're playing dwarves. I know I didn't when I went to the UK BBL, but maybe that's why I didn't enjoy playing them. But yeah, the dirty player sneaky. Yeah, I think, to be honest, if you're going to play dwarves, you probably have to go down the road of use the fouls and try and remove them. You've got one bribe in there to try and keep that dirty player sneaky git on the field. So it looks like you're trying to play a specific way. But I personally didn't enjoy playing dwarves. I found them really tough. So
Andy, when you played them, did the dive and tackle kick in on the blitzers at all?
I couldn't get them close enough to players, and that was the problem. I just found them really slow. But I mean, it was the first tournament I'd taken dwarves to. Maybe it was just a case I wasn't playing them very well, but I found them really frustrating. So I hope that's not the experience for this team this weekend, and I hope they have a great time with them.
I played against dwarfs at KTC earlier this year, and the diving tackle just kind of hovering around and getting close, particularly getting close to skinks, was kind of just made you think that little bit extra. Grant is mentioning as well in the chat about all of that defensive as well that they've got on those linemen. We have seen a lot of people putting guard in their rosters, so we'll see how he gets on with this team. Best of luck to you with your dwarfs. Let's move on then to the next roster. This one is a Skaven roster, Skitterberg Squealers. We have got a Rat Ogre with block. We have got a Skaven Thrower. We've got 2 blitzers, one with frenzy and one with break tackle, 2 gutter runners, both with block, 3 rerolls, 2 assistant coaches, and an apothecary rounding out this Skaven roster. Block on the Rat Ogre here, Dave, and no stacking. So day 2 could be an interesting skill choice.
Yeah, I think that might open it up a little bit more. It seems like the use of block on the Rat Ogre to utilise another skill potentially could have limited it, but with the second skill on day 2, it should open it up a little bit more. But it's standard. We're seeing a blitz with break tackle. We're seeing a blitz with frenzy, with their strip ball. That's almost perfect, and he's blodged up both of his gutter runners. So a standard Skaven roster should be good.
Best of luck to these rats. See how they can get on. Let's move on to the next roster, which is Bash and Dodge. It's another Orc roster here. A Troll with Guard, a Thrower with Block, 2 Big Uns, both with Block, a Blitzer with Guard, another Blitzer with Tackle and Team Captain, a Goblin that has been given Sprint on this one. So maybe more of an eye on that Goblin being utilized a bit more than we've seen with the other Orc coaches, and 3 rerolls and an apothecary into this one. I think, Andy, as well, I think this is the most goblins we've seen on an Orc roster so far, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it opens up the fouling option maybe in the second half once you've controlled your drive down the line. I mean, again, no real surprises on the roster. I mean, I suppose the only thing you could possibly argue about and debate is, does the team captain go on a blitzer? Does it go on one of the big uns so you can get maximum usage out of that mighty blow block? Perhaps, but it's Orcs. Vault Squadron's an old UK BBL coach, and so know a fair bit about him. Good coach, should do well.
Best of luck to you with that Orc roster. Let's move on to some shenanigans with a gnome team. We've got 2 tree men here, both with bullseye, 2 beastmasters, both with dodge, 2 illusionists, both with sidestep, and then we have 3 diving tackle linemen. Acorn comes into this one to make it 16 players, 4 rerolls, 1 assistant coach, and a team mascot, all making out this roster. Dave, 2 bullseye there. The trees already come with strong arms, so if you play this team, you're going to get something thrown at you at least once.
Yeah, exactly. This is Christoph's roster. Ironically, I helped him build it because he didn't have a tour play account when I was trying to get him to register a team. So yeah, he's here for the bands, and I think he's just going to throw stuff around. And win or lose, I know he's going to enjoy himself. I think the dive and tackle. I think with this, people say, "Oh yeah, I'm here for the bands," and then they put dive and tackle on things. So then to a certain extent, yeah. But I'm going to mess you up with dive and tackle. So it's again, he's an old carrot cruncher from when we were down Sudbury Way. So yeah, he's going to enjoy himself, win or lose. He'll be the one laughing. You'll be able to spot him a mile away. So he's really looking forward to meeting everybody, especially Ashley.
Best of luck to this gnome coach. We are now going to have a bit of deja vu, and we're going to go back to orcs before returning to gnomes. In which case, I'll flip these around for you two. I'll go back to Dave, and then I'll go to Andy for the gnomes, so that you don't just have entire deja vu. So, Dave, we've got orcs here with troll, with guard. We've got a big un blocker with block and frenzy. We've got another big un blocker with block and team captain. Orc blitzer with tackle, an orc thrower with block, an orc lineman with guard, 1 goblin in this roster, 2 rerolls, an apothecary, team mascot, a keg, and Bretonian pastries. Here, it feels like deja vu with these orcs. They all feel pretty similar. How do you feel about this one in particular?
Well, I don't think we've seen a fun orc roster. They all seem to be here to play, and I think this one follows the line of that, doesn't it? Let's be honest. The team captain on the big in, as we'd expect, all of the skills that you'd expect. I think the main thing that we're looking for is how many goblins that they're going to have. Can their one turn touchdown be taken away by removing the goblin? But yeah, it looks like it's going to churn. No there is a frenzy. So yeah, again, there's going to be a little bit of control. It's on a blocker, so on a blitzer you'd see it a little bit more versatile. But again, that could be a second day skill. So I think it's a shame we can't do the show in between the 2 days when everyone's added their additional skill, and we can see what trends there are. But no, yeah, a standard roster. But again, Mark's a solid coach. He knows what he's doing with this. So again, you're going to see this potentially winning more games than losing.
Best of luck to these orcs, and no pressure on John Reeder, who's the last orc coach we've got to come to make a fun roster for Dave. So no pressure, no pressure, John. But let's go back to gnomes, and we have got a gnome roster here: 2 tree men, both with brawler, 2 beast men, both with dodge, 2 illusionists, both with sidestep. Maple and Rodney coming into this one. There are 2 foxes hidden in there as well. 3 rerolls. We've got a couple of star players in here. Andy, Rodney's first appearance, and Maple, who I know you enjoy using. What do you think to this one?
This is probably the first gnome roster that I would say, apart from maybe Christoph's roster, which is definitely built with a competitive mindset. Rodney's just a great star player, the ability to just nick that ball. Maple being a cheaper tree with an extra bit of movement, that skill of being able to move that player out the way. You've got a couple of wrestle dodge pieces as well in there with guard, the sidesteppers as well with the trickster. Again, this is why I had gnomes at the top. I think gnomes are just a really good stunty team, and I think we've seen a number of contenders for Stunty Cup. I think that this one will be playing towards the top tables anyway, just because of the good skill choices and the good stars.
It's nice to see some variety in these star players coming in. Best of luck to these gnomes. We will move on then to another high elf team. It is the 24 Karat Nobles. So we have got 2 Dragon Princes, one with Frenzy and Dodge, and one with Block. We've got 2 White Lions, both with Dodge, and a Phoenix Warrior with Leader. 2 Rerolls, an Apothecary, and Bretonian Pastries, rounding out this roster. Dave, the high elves, similar to the orcs, they all feel very similar with just maybe one difference or so in the skills. How does this one look to you?
Well, I mean, are we starting to see that high elves are the new Elven Union? It seems like people have switched over to the high elf roster, potentially because do they give you more? So this is obviously Grant's roster, and there's been much chat in the chat with regards to whether this is the right way to go about the high elf roster or not. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does with these, and again, what the second day skill is. But I mean, I haven't played this new high elf roster. I've played against it, and it's a nightmare. So it looks like they can cage dodge at will, and it's just classic elf BS. So again, yeah, another sort of standard high elf roster. Lots of dodge, leader to give you the extra reroll, frenzy for the control, no tackle. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be getting stuck in against the right rosters anyway. So yeah, good solid roster.
Best of luck to you, Grant, with your high elves. We'll see how they compare to the other high elf teams. We go to 3 teams left. Let's go to John Reader and his orc side. We have got a troll with guard. We've got a big and blocker with guard and block, and the team captain given to that player. Another big and blocker with block. 2 orc blitzers, one with tackle, one with strip ball. A orc thrower with block. Rerolls, he has gone for 3. He has got a apothecary in this one as well. Andy, 2 questions. Firstly, I think this is the first team that has put the team captain on the big and not the blitzer, but I might be wrong. So how do you think that's going to do? And secondly, has John filled Dave's heart with love and built a fun roster rather than a competitive one?
On the second question, I'd say no. And probably I would say, sorry, folks, this is my fault. So I played John last night on Fumble. He was playing Necro. I was playing the human roster I'm playing this weekend. I removed 3 zombies on the first turn. I removed a golem a turn later. And then I said, orcs are really good, you know. You played a lot of orcs last year. Why don't you play them instead? And he went, yeah, all right then. Yeah.
Easily swayed is John.
Yeah.
And then he messaged me and he wanted a thrower. So I've got to loan him a thrower now as well. So
yeah. So, I mean, there's a little bit of variety. You've got tackle and strip ball on the blitzer. And in answering the question in the chat about the second day skill is on the 0 to 16 or 0 to 12. So I'm expecting to see an orc lineman gain guard on that second day, just to kind of beef out that front line. So yeah, it's all the orcs are just going to be really horrible, and I hope I don't have to play more than one of them.
Best of luck, John. Hopefully the last minute switch is not something that you regret on this one. We have 2 rosters left then. Dave, you're the next one up. Why don't you tell us what you've built with your Necromantic Horror?
Well, I'm coach 0, so to a certain extent, I'm hoping not to play. But this is the standard Necro roster on a 1150. You can fit 12 players. The 8 positionals that you need, and the 4 zombies to take the whacks. I normally like to try and guard up both wraiths and both golems, just because I've watched a lot of video with Necro again with top coach. Joseph's been giving me some really good tips with these as well. And I just love the guard on the flesh golem, because he gets knocked over, he stands up and guards in play, and he's such a useful piece with the werewolves with the frenzy to blitz into, to then stop the frenzy and with the wraiths again. So I originally had an orc roster, but then somebody nicked my thrower. So then I decided to revert back to this. But I'll be honest, I was tempted with Slan for a little bit, because I thought if I might be only playing one of the days, and it'd be nice to get the Slan tick on on the sheet. So I did look at playing a little bit of agility, but I do sometimes find it a little bit hard to veer away from sort of bashy teams. So yeah, it's the bog standard Orc roster, the Necro roster, sorry. But again, I found some restrictions. I couldn't have everything I wanted with the limit on the agility, the elite skills. So, and I do love block on a Ghoul runner. I find that gives me so many options both sides of the ball. He's a nice piece to come in and blitz with because he's got the block, he's got the security, and he's got the pace to get away again. And then there's a ball carry, he's a blodger. So again, it gives you a little bit more security than if he was just clean. So yeah, I think I'll probably come last looking at this, but we should be all right. We should be all right.
The only member of the Necromantic Horror Alliance bringing Necromantic Horror, so I'm sure I'm sure you'll have the support of the other two.
Yeah, what can I say? What a bunch of losers they are, aren't they? Keeping it real. Necro.
On to the last roster then that we've got. It's Shambling Undead, the Black Gulf Brawlers, 2 mummies, 1 with block, 1 with guard, 2 white blitzers, both with guard, a ghoul runner with block, a ghoul runner with wrestle. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies and a skeleton for good luck, 3 rerolls, and 2 kegs coming into this side. I think it's the only shambling. It might not be the only shambling.
Yeah, it's the only shambling.
It's the only shambling.
Oh no, sorry. There was a second one where we had a double mighty blow. I think on
it was the second
blitzers.
one we did that was shambling. Yes. Well, how do you feel about this shambling then, Andy?
Seems a lot more control. This one, given the fact that you put guard on both the blitzers. I personally like the mighty blow on one of them. It makes for a really good blitzer to chip damage away. But I think the guard is fine. What I think is that we're definitely going to be leaning into a dirty player on day 2 and taking that as our skill. Given that you've got a couple of kegs in there, the players are going to be returning from KOs pretty easily, and obviously with the regeneration, any injuries are going to be returning on a 4+. So I think it's unlikely you're going to be seeing this roster play with less than 11. Unless of course the dice are really terrible for them. But I'll be interested to see how this one does with the lack of mighty blow on one of the blitzers. A little bit more control. Are they going to be able to get as many removals as other teams, and how is that going to play out for them across the tempo of the game?
Best of luck to this Shambling Undead side. That is all 49 rosters that we have got, that we have been through. Dave, I'll come to you to have a look here, if I can find the right screen. Which one is it? It's this one. There we are. Looking at the seedings and how people look like they may fare at this tournament. There are lots of people there with some decent-looking NAF rankings overall. Is there any coaches in particular that you think you particularly don't want to face, looking particular favorites for this based on the rosters and based on how they're doing?
Well, the data that we're using is from the 2025 data set. So some of the you might look on that and think, oh, that's not quite right, but it's only on the 2025 data set. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind playing anybody, to be honest with you. I think I wouldn't want to play Drez again after the Ked TC, but I find value in playing a coach that I deem better than me. I feel that, you know, like Wayne Rooney said, we're all students of the game, and I still feel that there's a lot of that in there. So there isn't really a roster. I think I've never had that much success against Nurgle. I've struggled with the stand firm. So I wouldn't want to meet Mark with that roster that he's got, because I feel that we clash in the middle, and with his more strength 4, I don't think that I'd do that well. But other than that, I'd look forward to sort of any game with any of the other coaches. It's just the Nurgle roster I feel that I struggle against.
Andy, what about you? Anyone in particular that you've got your eye on as a potential favourite, or someone you want to avoid?
I mean, again, I would probably say the same as Dave. I mean, I will really want to make the East Anglian series squad for next year. So I'm targeting a top 4 for this tournament. That's what I'm aiming for. That there's a number of good coaches though that I probably don't want to play on day one. It would be nice if I could avoid them until the second day. But I mean, the only way you're going to get better is playing some of the better coaches. So if I played a second day where I had to play, for example, Dreisfield, Joseph, and Elysian, who were the top 3 ranked NAF coaches in 2025, that would be a pretty good weekend. I think even if I lost all 3 of them, that would be a pretty good weekend as an educational experience.
I in complete contrast to both of you, I would like my ogres to play. I really enjoy playing Tom and his halflings. I've had great fun in the last couple of games. I'd love to give that a go. I'd like to play some of the goblin coaches out there and maybe some of the gnomes. I'd like as many stunty on stunty as possible, I think. And I just I've got this lovely picture in my head of an ogre in a tree throwing stunties in the air and they collide in the middle, and the game doesn't even allow that to happen, but it just looks good in my head. So I think there's so many really fun builds out there for the stunty teams. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes away with that title. Don't Call Me Flossie's not at this event, and he's dominated stunties so far in the series. So this is a real opportunity for all of those stunty coaches to kind of catch some ground there. So yeah, I think I'm really interested to see how that race turns out and who can do what over the course of the day.
It's Steve's the only one who's played 3 events as well on the stunties side. So I mean, given that Scott's playing his second game with the goblins, and obviously a top 15, I think is what you need to get on the scoreboard to get some points. So it would be good if we can see one of the stunty coaches finish in that top 15. It's really hard, obviously, to score points in such a large field, and although we've got a number of stunty coaches playing, and some of them will inevitably finish higher up, it just will happen because you've got so many of them. But it would be good to. I think the Stunty Cup is probably going to be the most fiercely contested of the whole weekend, possibly more so than the actual title. I think that's going to be really close, and I think going into the last game, you might even have something like 6 or 7 coaches going for it.
That's the plan. That's the dream. I'm absolutely not winning it, but I'm going to put up a fight. Dave, before we go and let everyone get back to the remainder of their Thursday evening, any last bits of information for the crunch? Anything people need to know?
So if you put the address into SatNav, don't park in the Tesco's car park because there's a limited period of time. The other side of the Scout Hall, we've got our own parking around there near the doctor's surgery. So make sure you park there. For the lunchtime, there is a burger van that is round the corner near the Bell Pub, which I'm being told by Mark serves good food. Mark and Ashley will be your guides for that. So I think registration, let me have a quick look at the timings that we've got. Registration is between 9:30 and 10. You're welcome to come early and help us set up the tables if you want. But yeah, if everyone could be quite prompt, I'm really keen on doing the draw before the registration. So if you're, for whatever reason, if you can't attend on the day and things change and it happens, it's not a problem, can you let me know? Because I want to try and get the draw done about 9 o'clock. So then when we get there, there's not that initial delay of kind of like waiting for the draw to be done last minute, and then we all got to our tables. So and also we've got the quiz in the evening as well. So everybody's welcome to the quiz with their partners and family. That should be starting about 7 o'clock. We've got some free drinks. I don't think we've got any food sorted out for that, but it should be good. It should be a good evening.
best of luck to all of our coaches out there coming along. It's looking like it's going to be a very hotly contested couple of days and a very fun couple as well. A big thank you to Dave and Andy for joining me this evening to go through all of these rosters. We will be there on the day, streaming all 6 of the games over the 2 days, and we will be back as well the following week to do our usual roundup, going through some of the fixtures. Thank you, gents. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you later.